he identified and was notified that there was a foreign object in Tyson Fury's glove, more than likely some sort of metal. You heard it. There was some sort of metal in his glove that inflicted the damage on Deontay Wilder. So he was up against it from the get-go. And this is proof. So you're going to hear it from the horse's mouth itself.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backstone Boxing. Now you guys heard the audio from Blue Buzz Sports. He says that there was metal objects in Tyson Fury's glove during the fight. He even said that his drink was spiked, right? And he said that Deontay Wilder is going to come out himself and verify this. You guys heard it. You guys are gonna hear it from the horse's mouth himself. So Deontay Wilder is gonna come out and expose Tyson Fury for the fraud he is. And this is a big deal because, you know, if you know anything, if you guys watch any forensic science, anything, you know, and let's say you happen to kill somebody, right? And you throw them in a lake, and you're trying to make it seem like they drowned in the lake. They can determine if that guy died before you threw him in a lake or not based on the water in his lungs. Same thing with getting killed with a blunt object. You can tell what that guy was hit by. Was it hit by a bat? Was it by a hand? You know, what was it? You know, you could tell forensically how someone, you know, got inflicted a certain amount of damage to die or to get seriously injured. Right now, Deontay Wilder was hit and suffered some horrific injuries from Tyson Fury, and he was checked by a doctor soon after the fight. And the doctors are telling him that you got hit by an object that wasn't, it couldn't have been by a fist. You know, these are doctors that inspect fighters every time it's done, every time big fights are done, they get inspected by doctors and they get sewn up and everything. Whoever seen Deontay Wilder soon after the Tyson Fury fight told him that you got hit by an object that was not a fist. And they said that Deontay Wilder is coming out himself. Now, like I said earlier, that's some forensic type stuff right there. And it shows that Deontay Wilder is serious about coming out against Tyson Fury, because a regular physician can't come out and say something like that. A specialist has to say that. And furthermore, with the spiked water situation, that's just obvious. I mean, if you know someone in the camp that spiked your water, you don't need much exposing for that. It should be easy. It should be, you know, we know who did it, and the guy most likely admitted it because Deontay Wilder said he's gonna come out himself and say it, right? Blue Buzz Sports, right? I'm gonna have pictures showing up, right? Guy talked to Bob Arum, the guy talked to Eddie Hearn, the guy talked to Deontay Wilder himself. He talked to many elite level world fighters. So as far as I'm concerned, he's legitimate, and he is, far as I'm concerned, a reliable source. You know, when you start talking to people like Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Deontay Wilder, and much others, you're basically legitimate, in my opinion. You got a lot of these armchair people sitting on the sidelines, you know, who never really go out and interview people, who just sit in their homes making videos. This guy's actually out, you know, reporting and talking to these fighters himself. So as far as I'm concerned, Blue Buzz Sports, I think of him as a reliable source, right? He says that Deontay Wilder is going to come out soon and talk about it himself. So, you know, this spells bad news for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has already been banned from the UK. The guy already gave up his license. He cannot fight in the UK right now. If Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua said, let's make this fight, I'll pay you $100 million right now, Tyson Fury, to fight me in the UK, Tyson Fury could not take that fight in the UK because he gave up his license because he tested positive for PEDs in 2015, and Tyson Fury's excuse was he was eating wild boar. That turned out to be a complete false lie, and they've been investigating Tyson Fury, or the investigation have resumed, and now it's been going on half a decade since they've been investigating Tyson Fury for this steroids or PED use. It's not even allegation, it's facts now, because he's been trying to duck and dodge this whole investigation with the USADA in the UK, right? So this is a really big deal, man. Tyson Fury is having mental breakdowns. He's having meetings with his psychologist, talking about how depressed he is. He's still going through the whole issue with mental depression. I talked about it. This guy 1 second is talking about fighting 2 times a year, and then next second talking about fighting 8 times a year. He doesn't know what he wants to do. So as far as I'm concerned, my Tyson Fury is not even in a state of reality. He's living a la la land and having a battle with himself. He's not even thinking about what's happening in the outside world. Once everything goes back to normal and they start launching a full-blown investigation on this guy, his career is most likely done. It's most likely done. Because when you start coming out with things like this, as far as allegations go, you're gonna have to come with some proof. If you follow boxing, especially in the UK, Frank Warren promotes Tyson Fury, and Frank Warren's the king of suing fighters after they leave him. If you come accusing Tyson Fury of something like that, and you're a fighter and you're not just some guy on reporting about it, it can be used as defamation of character. But Deontay Wilder is coming out with evidence. He's coming out with professionals. He's gonna come out, and that's what Blue Blood Sports said. So I'm gonna take that at face value. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Tyson Fury is gonna have a lot to go through with this whole allegation because it's most likely true. It's most likely true. If he says that, like I said, I mean, you can't make up an injury, right? We all know the injuries he suffered in the ring, and it's documented, right? All you gotta do is talk to certain amount of physicians about, can this injury be done by a fist? And it's either true or false. And there's most likely 80 or 90% chance that 80% of physicians will say yes, and maybe a minority will say no. So Tyson Fury has a long and big hill to climb. It's like Mount Everest. This guy's going to climb Mount Everest butt naked, man. Tyson Fury has no chance of beating this. I don't think he will. There's a lot of things sketchy in that fight, the first fight. Him getting hit with the object in his hand is even worse. We all know that Tyson Fury even admitted to dipping his hand in petrol. Crazy stuff, man. Tyson Fury has admitted to dipping his hand in petrol, which basically hardens your bones so you can hit harder. I mean, this guy was just doing things and blatantly saying it in the interviews, right? I mean, I'm gonna have links in the description, man. This guy, Tyson Fury, has admitted to dipping his hands in petrol, which basically enhances your body to do abnormal things. So you can hit, it's basically like getting hit with a harder object in your hand. So this is shocking stuff, man. Crazy stuff from Blue Blood Sports, man. Deontay Wilder will come out and expose him soon, and he will come with the professionals, obviously. And it looks like it might be a case. Everyone's waiting for Deontay Wilder to speak up on this and say something, and he will. He's just gonna come with the right people, the right professionals in the right industries, like the medical industry, to talk about the damages that he suffered in that fight and how that could not have been from a fist and a spiked water. I mean, there's a lot of things in that fight that was sketchy, but those are just one of many laundry list of things that Tyson Fury did that cheated in the fight. Furthermore, like I said earlier, we all know Tyson Fury has cheated before. He's already been caught before. People act like Tyson Fury is some saint. This guy's already been caught cheating once. Once you cry wolf once, it's like the kid who cried wolf. You could be telling the truth, but you lied already, bro. It's hard to believe a liar, and Tyson Fury is already a liar, and we already seen him do things on camera and admit things on camera to have me think otherwise. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire, Geoboxing Empire. Peace.